welcome you to the second of our Forum Academy Online, presented to you by the Business Forum and Venture X. And the topic today is leverage the dynamic shift in consumer behaviors to drive growth for your business. I want to welcome all of our attendees with us here today. Thank you so much. Our promise to you is in this short Zoom webinar, and I say short because I've seen ones that have gone on forever and ever, days and days and days, and that is not going to be our intent here today. We're going to tap into a very, very important, exciting topic because I think if you weren't on the internet before or on Zoom calls or doing stuff online, you're doing it now. So what we want to do here is make sure that you can maximize this digital revolution 2.0, which every one of us is learning and experiencing right now, real time. With us here today, I'm going to introduce to you a couple of folks. Number one, a great lady, my executive coach, a terrific an important part of the Business Forum group. That's Terry Wilderman, intuitive leadership specialist and Amazon best-selling author of The Enchanted Boardroom. Terry, you want to say hello? Big hello to everybody.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this amazing webinar. It's going to be a blast.
And what I want to do right now so that we can get moving on the program is turn it over to my good friend, a Forum executive member of the Business Forum Group, and just a fascinating organization called Claritas, or as we say in Miami, Claritas. Just want to make sure that we are doing things the right ways here. It's not a bakery, it's an important market research company. David Mesas, Vice President, Business Development for Claritas. David.
Thank you, Pete and Terry. And thank you all for investing this half hour with us today. I appreciate your time. We're going to be going over how we can leverage the dynamic shifts in consumer behaviors to really grow your business during this time. I'm going to share some examples of how Claritas is stepping up and some examples of how we're helping other clients really pivot during this time and capitalize. And in some cases, we're seeing clients double down where it makes sense. But we're also helping clients really understand who that new customer is. As obviously our customers are shifting online, the customer of before this whole situation is not just changing the profile of that consumer, but those behaviors and how you connect with them, how you reach them, how you serve them will be changing. So, one thing I want to mention for those not familiar with Claritas, we really help clients or customers find their best customers in the market. We really help you understand the 360 degrees of your best customers. And we do that in three areas. We do that focused on three areas. One is identify. So we help you identify who that customer is. And right now, more than ever, it's important that you understand who your customer is today. But also we help clients in our second area, which is deliver, in this IDEO framework, this identify, deliver, and optimize framework. We help you deliver messages to consumers where they are and where they're consuming media. Obviously, a lot of consumers consuming media on TV right now at home in front of the TV, but we're also seeing, of course, spikes in digital media and social media usage, which is just growing the advertising budgets in those areas. But then we're also seeing clients kind of, I wouldn't say sit back, but kind of hold back to see what's happening. But while they're doing that, they're optimizing and planning and strategizing how they come back after this. And so when you reach the full circle of working with us, identify, deliver, and optimize, it's a complete circle that continues to feed itself. As your customers change, you continue to identify what's driving them, and you continue to deliver new messages. One of our key assets here at Claritas is our identity graph, really understanding who your best customers are. And why this is important is because you need to know who your customer is today. A month, 2 months ago, it may have been millennial homeowners with a certain profile, and that may be shifting now. And really getting an understanding of that is critical. And we provide that 360-degree high definition profile of the customer beyond what I like to refer to as basic demographics, age, income, presence of children, to more sophisticated views of their lifestyle, their media usage, the family composition and life stage, and how that blends into this consumer. And what's important on this slide is also understanding that we have all the different contact points to reach these consumers. But at the end of the day, it's critical that you understand who your customer is today. Now, as a company, we responded obviously to right away. We have all our workers remote, all our servers are online and protected, and we were able to shift and pivot and to continue operating our business almost 100% as we were previously. And it's allowed us to serve our customers better, our clients. We saw a tweet from the White House inquiring about or asking for companies with digital assets and data assets to step up to the plate to help in the efforts. And so we stepped up and we donated some of our demographic data and business count data to help with the planning efforts and the load balancing for the ICU. So some of our population data was used to identify areas where resources could be shifted, and so we could plan and prepare ahead of that. And our strategy from the get-go was to help those most vulnerable in our community, but also help our clients navigate through this using data-driven strategies. And so we're very proud of how we've done that, and also proud that we're helping our clients as they start to become more data-driven during these times, to really understand where their money is being invested, where they can shift marketing budgets to optimize the return on investments during these times, as folks are being more critical about their spend. Now, in the data world, a lot of companies are looking at the past, or a lot of decisions that we make is based on historical information, right? And that's normal, but nowadays you can't use what was working a month or two ago as the same game plan for moving forward, or to respond to what's happening now. And looking at the rearview mirror is not the strategy during these times. You need to be looking forward, and at the same time looking at what's in front of you so that you can adapt your messaging and the way you go to business. Now, one way to do that is by having fast response research. A lot of the research in the market, it's 3 or 4 weeks, then it takes you like 8 to 12 weeks to finally get it in your hands, and in a nice fancy report. But nowadays you can't wait that long if you need to make decisions now. And so we created a research solution that essentially gives you a pulse of the market. It helps you get a read of consumer sentiment, of shifts in consumer behavior. It's 5 questions, 72 hours. We interview 1,500 people across the nation, a general market study, and you can understand 5 key questions that you can drive in there. Obviously, you can add more for a different solution, but something quick, insightful, and can fuel decisions as companies are making moves, and also budget sensitive in terms of the solution. And so that's one area where we've been called up, and we're seeing clients come to us with a lot of these questions like, hey, what do you have off the shelf for COVID? Well, there's nothing off the shelf. You need to do custom right now. But custom, the word custom usually means long time, a lot of work. And now you have the ability to do it quick now and drive responses. And so we developed that, and I'd be happy to engage anyone. But more importantly, is how do you engage folks? And everyone's engaging online right now for the most part. And everyone's talking about online. We're all online right now on Zoom. Everyone's rapidly learning about what's going on in the digital to kind of respond. But what most folks don't know is that 90% of the traffic that's coming to your website is anonymous. What that means is people are coming to your website, they poke around, and they don't leave any cookies or crumbles or even their information for you to know, okay, this was David Mesas that was on my page, or someone with my profile, right? And that's 90% of the people that are just coming in and going right out the door. A lot of potential leads that they didn't see the right thing. They didn't have someone talk to them at the right time. And they just weren't convinced enough to leave you their information. And so we have a product, a solution that allows clients and is allowing clients right now during this time, drop pixels on their website, and using the identity graph we mentioned at the beginning, the nice picture with all the little contacts around it and sources. We use that to connect the dots of the people that are coming to your website, and then produce a profile of these individuals and actually produce a list of leads. So let me repeat that. Not only will we tell you, hey, this is someone that looks like Juan Gonzalez at this address, but we can actually give you their email address so that you can remarket them properly with the right offer. Now, you may hear a lot of companies say, okay, yeah, but we're already retargeting everyone that comes to our page. You know, anyone that comes to our page and we see them looking at some shoes, we just retarget them all the shoes we can find. But they really don't have a good clue of who that customer looks like and what their potential buying potential is in a nutshell. And so we can not just profile, but also start to feed you leads on a daily, weekly basis, the folks that are coming to your site. Not just their email, but also, if you wanted to, their direct mail address, so you can send them a direct mail piece. Now more than ever, you need to get above the noise. While everyone else is pulling back, while everyone else is saying direct mail is old or expensive, you want to be the only one in their mailbox. They want to go outside to grab the mail just to get fresh air. And some people are very tactile. They need that. So if you're the only one in the mailbox, now's the time. And if someone was on your page 72 hours ago, and within 72 hours or a week, they have a mail piece in their mail, plus you send them an email, you've created that connection across the board and you that multi-channel, omni-channel approach of marketing. Now, speaking of people at home, we're all consumers before we're business people, and we understand how we're consuming right now. This is a good picture of what it looks like in my house without the kids jumping around and the dog, but just on the laptops and the tablets and working from wherever you can, but also making purchases. And there's a new at-home consumer, and there's different audience segments that we've created. There's that new at-home health person. How many of us has picked up running or working out or daily walks now that we have the extra time? How many of us are researching e-learning for ourselves and for our kids? How many of us are looking for ways to master ourselves, right? And be better? And how many of us are dealing now with Zoom and other online learning products to teach our kids, and also thinking beyond this? What if we want to continue to educate our kids online? It looks to be working. And then you have those home improvement people. I'm one of them. My honey-do list has been shrunk by dozens of items. I've done it all. All these home improvement projects I've been holding off, I've been tackling them down. Home Depot and Lowe's are doing good. So these types of consumers and audiences we can create for you and push them to you wherever you might be marketing, whether it's LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Google search. And we just talked about the direct mail. So you can create not the illusion, but the perception that you are everywhere around that consumer, and you really are. They'll see you in their Facebook, they'll see you on their Instagram, they'll see you in their Google searches. And you'll create that perception of being everywhere around that ideal customer that we know looks exactly like the folks we're seeing come to your website. Not a consumer or a customer you think is your customer, or the customer it used to be, or the customer we think it is. This is actual customer profiling data that we can create lookalikes across thousands or millions of homes. That's the power that we bring to the table. The last piece is show you just one example. We have many examples. We have companies that are in the grocery space. They're obviously capitalizing on servicing, but also optimizing their business for the extra demand. It's not just, hey, that's all this great business, but how do you optimize so that you're delivering the same quality and value that they're used to? And so we've helped clients understand where they need to allocate more resources, people, merchandise to serve. We've talked to companies that are like auto dealerships, right? That obviously people are not going to the auto dealerships, but they're still in need of buying vehicles, or looking for deals to buy vehicles. And so the pivot online, we're helping those companies really drive traffic to those websites and understand who those customers are. And then you have companies, the bigger companies that are really been doing this all along, been working e-commerce all along, have been doing digital all along. And this is just another another day in their business. They've already had an optimal site. And one is, you know, we do business with many of the wireless service providers out there. And one in particular had the 90% of that traffic coming to your site. Even the big companies have the same questions, the same opportunities. What some call problems, I see as opportunities. I think that every opportunity, often, not every, but oftentimes opportunities come wrapped in the wrapper of a problem. And it's like a present. You just have to unwrap that problem to really unlock that opportunity. And these companies, they're seeing, a lot of companies are seeing the potential opportunity here in capitalizing on all this digital traffic that's coming to their site, all this additional intelligence. And for the time being, who knows if it'll continue that way, but for the time being, there's a lot of insights from that 90% that's coming. And in this case, we identified 300,000 new prospects that would have just gone poof. They would have just gone somewhere else, or you would have never known unless they ended up reaching out to this company. 300,000 prospects, of which about 87% of them, or 85% of them, we were able to append an email address, which then allowed us to deliver a one-to-one message, which created, as you see on the screen, more than 3 times the typical acquisition rate. Everyone focuses on impressions, on reach, this, that, and the other, all these fancy smancy KPIs. But what's really important is, did you acquire a new customer? Did you sell something? And in this case, the acquisition was 3 times higher than the typical 1.24%. It was 3.82%. 3.82% of these 300,000 people, you guys can do the math, at about $100 a month, 2-year packages. I mean, you can start doing the math on how much money they quickly made just by identifying these people that would have gone anonymous. And so what can you do today is really 3 things that I'll leave you with is, do research to really understand what people are thinking about. And if you don't have the budget to do the instant fast response research, you want to at least be doing the research at a minimal cost. And we have some packages to offer, but at a minimal cost, drop a pixel on your website and try to start profiling who's coming in. And the last piece is, do something about it. Stop sitting and hoping that things are going to change, or hoping that things are going to be the way they used to be. Stop looking at the rearview mirror. Look at the now. Look at what's in front of you and test. Digital allows you to test. Test small. As a matter of fact, I don't do anything with my clients before they test when it comes to digital, because I need them to prove to themselves that this works. I don't need to prove it to them. They need to prove to themselves that this produces the acquisition they're looking for. And I'm willing to roll up my sleeves and do it with them to guarantee the results. So I really appreciate everyone's time today. Don't go anywhere. We're going to open up the lines for questions and some additional chat. Thank you.
David, thank you so much. And again, like David said, we're going to open it up if you want to ask us some questions. I have 2 questions that I want to ask you. And I think the answer is obvious, but how fast is data changing today? Because if we look at the daily briefings from the White House, and all they talk about is data, and the models. And it's like every 24 hours, it's changing, it's moving. That's not just limited to COVID-19. This is now the world that we're in right now, moving forward. That data, 2 days ago, information you got is probably obsolete today. So how do we, as business owners and business professionals, how do we wrap our hands around this world of data moving so fast? Because if we don't do it, we're going to lose out on opportunities, right?
Yeah. I mean, you and I were talking about this yesterday about, your membership data and the emails, and, are they still valid, and are people still involved? Now, same thing goes, I read something about Salesforce, like 72% of your data gets old or obsolete, or needs a refresh within a year. So if you're maintaining, the membership database that you're talking about now, or a client is trying to update their own data, within a year, a lot of that will be obsolete. But more importantly, I think what you're referring to is how quickly is it changing? We're getting millions of data signals a day that influence our identity graph. From a business, in a smaller business, yeah, you're going to see shifts. Is the consumer profile going to change from one month to the other? Maybe not. Now during these times, it's different, but ongoing. Perhaps once a year, you want to relook at profiling your database of your existing customers. But the look of your customer is changing every week in terms of the new customers you're getting in.
Right.
New customers, you should always be looking at, if you have the technology, to be seeing how that's changing over time and how you're influencing that. How your marketing is influencing that. We have some companies that they've never marketed to Spanish speakers before. And now they start marketing to Spanish speakers. They start seeing an influx of Spanish speakers into their database. And that was influenced based on some of the marketing and advertising and sales that they've done. So that's one thing to keep in mind. What's the next question?
Word is change, rapid change. One more question. You mentioned omni-channel, and you mentioned it in your presentation there. Can you share for the benefit of the attendees, what is omni-channel?
Great question. Omni-channel, another word for omni-channel is multi-channel, multiple channels. And channel is the vehicle by which we're reaching you. You can think of TV as one channel, radio, like the media channels. You can think of digital as another channel, social media, and direct mail. And omni-channel basically means that you're combining two or more channels to reach a consumer in order to increase response rates. Not only are you increasing your frequency, the frequency of time that individual sees your brand, your logo, your offer, but also you're increasing the response rate, because you're giving them the perception that, wow, I see Joe's Shake Shack or whatever company you want to think of, and then you see them when you're running on a bus stop shelter, or you see them in your email, or you see them every time you Google, and you're like, whoa, these people are everywhere. It's not that they're everywhere for everyone. They're just figured out a way to give you the impression that they are everywhere by just serving you ads when you are online. So that's the thing about digital. It's only going to serve you an ad, obviously, whenever you're online. Whenever you go online, boom, it pops up again. And if you're a high enough ideal target for some of these companies, you will be seeing their ads in different places. But omni-channel is definitely the way to go. And we've seen, in some cases, 30% or more increase in response rates by combining social with email, or email, direct mail, and social. We have a number of clients right now doing that trifecta of combining digital, social, and email. And we have some even doing the fourth of direct mail, and it's producing. And the good thing about the digital channels is that you get kind of instant gratification in terms of seeing the results. You may send a direct mail piece and you may not know if it worked for 2 weeks, 2 months, whatever, depending on the offer.
Hello, Wiz? Okay, we lost you there for a second. It's technology.
Okay, I'm here.
Listen, question here from Marshall. Can you give us an idea of your types of packages and cost?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so the website, anonymous website visitor package it's actually free for 3 months. It typically costs anywhere from $500 a month to $2,000 a month, depending on how much data you want back from your website. The basic package for $500, it gives you the ability to drop the pixel, to read who's coming in, and we build a small subset of data each week or each month that we deliver back to you as leads. The bigger package gives you a little bit more profiling, and it gives you a lot more data back. What we're offering is 3 months of that package to track your site with the leads, but you have to commit to a $2,000 email campaign within those 3 months. $2,000 gets you $2,000 email campaign. Assume somewhere around $85 for every 1,000 emails we send, and we send those emails 3 times on your behalf, so 3 different campaigns. $85 for every 1,000. So you can do the math, how many thousands of emails you have to send to get to that $2,000 budget, but you're also getting the free tracking on the site. So it's a really good offer. We're going to send it to everyone on the line today as a link. and you can reach out to me, and I'd be happy to discuss your budget, and we're flexible if you want to work something else out.
Yeah, we'll be, we got everyone's information, so we'll work together with David and get that information out. We still got a couple of minutes left. Do we have any other questions from our attendees? Type in your question. Okay, we're not, I guess you did such a great job, David. They have no questions for you, man. Good job, man. Terry, anything else from your end?
No, everything's great. If somebody wants to speak, they can unmute themselves or they can type their question in the chat area, which is found directly underneath the screen and next to the, on the bar at the bottom that has the green share screen. To the left is the word chat. So if you wanted to type something in that area, please do so, or we can unmute you so you can speak.
While we wait for someone to step up, I will say, reach out to us. I also have my colleague, Rafa, on the webinar too, Rafael. And we're local. For those that are local in Miami, we're in the Gables. And we help businesses of all size. And we're happy to jump on a call if you just have questions, 10, 15, 30-minute call just to, understand what's out there. We didn't go that deep today on purpose, because you can go really deep into the weeds.
We didn't want to add to the fatigue, the Zoom fatigue.
Yes.
Keep it simple. Keep it simple here today.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I want to thank, obviously, Terry for her, she didn't know how much work she was going to put into this, but we want to thank her profoundly for her guidance and all the great input from our conversations yesterday, early this morning. So thank you very, very much, Terry. If a lot of you know her here, and if you haven't gotten to meet Terry, you have to. Again, I'm going to recommend her book, The Enchanted Boardroom, and she is a intuitive leadership specialist and a great, great dear friend and a big part of the business forum. And of course, David, I want to thank you, buddy, for we could speak all day because you are an encyclopedia of information here. But thank you so much for what you do, and thank all of you that joined us today for this very important part of our forum Academy Online. We are pivoting as an organization, and our plan is to provide you top programming via this what we call Digital Revolution 2.0, and we're very excited to move forward in that direction there. So thank you all very much. We will be sending out the link for everybody that was with us here today, so you can get back with David and his team.
Thank you, Pete. Thank you, Terry. And thank you, everyone, today. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, David. Enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody, take care of yourselves and stay safe and be positive. Take care. Bye-bye.